Hello everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom, and today... Okay, listen, I'm very slowly learning game design. I understand a lot of the theory, but don't have a lot of practical experience yet. I've worked on a few jams, I did full narrative design for a game that hasn't been made yet, and I've written all sorts of original stuff in other mediums. And I've done some level design and environment art, but here's the thing. I have a lot of game ideas, and movie ideas and so on. But by the time I get any of these actually made, well, it's gonna be a while. But I don't want to just sit on these ideas. Even if I wrote them out now, which I am doing a little, it would still be a long time before they're made. So here's the plan. I'm gonna make some videos going over what could be. If anybody wants to work with me, feel free to contact me, but that's not really why I'm doing this. I just want to share my thoughts, get these ideas out in the meantime while I actually write some other stuff. I got a few projects I'm actively working on, like screenplays and short stories, in addition to all the videos I work on. And that's not going to change until I have the right people around me to bring these ideas to life. So I'm going to stretch my writing muscles in small, manageable video format about the games I would make if I had the team to do it. So we're starting here with a horror game concept I had a few months ago. It deals with the concept of chimerism, which is a real area of study in biology. The simplest way I can explain it is mixing together genes from multiple species into a single creature. That's a vast oversimplification, so don't take that too seriously. So the game would take place following an outbreak, of course, of human-animal hybrids. Got tiger humans, wolf humans, bird humans, and so on. Obviously there would be some creative liberties taken here as to how something like this is even possible, but the key point is taking this concept to its extreme. See, these creatures wouldn't be clean combinations. They would be malformed, grotesque. But most importantly, they would be insane. We should never lose sight of the fact that these were people, abused by people who didn't care, turned into horrific monstrosities in the name of science. In the process of mixing in animal genes, these people were driven mad, but are still carrying the hunting instincts of the predators they were combined with. So each type would adapt to its surroundings and hunt the player, just like the animals would. But they're still partly human, so it's all uncoordinated, illogical, mad. And what I really want to do here is explore the theme of dehumanization. That's the real horror. Enemies hunting the player is all standard game design. But what the creatures are, how and why they were made, that's the most terrifying part, to me anyway. See, we discover the lab where they were made. We realize these chimera creatures were either kidnapped homeless people, mental patients, maybe death row inmates, immigrants, or otherwise impoverished people. Evil rich people hired evil scientists to do this for, well, whatever reason. Super soldiers, pharmaceutical benefits, that's not the important part. What matters is at the core, it was always about money, prestige, and power. That's what I want to capture. The lack of humanity in those that dehumanize others. Because that is real horror that many people, I'd even say most of us, deal with all the time. It's like, yeah, this is a fictional scenario, but these ruthless monsters exist. Not the chimera experiments, the people that made them. I've heard it said that intelligence is knowing that Frankenstein wasn't the monster. Wisdom is knowing that he was. So over the course of the game, we would ideally rescue some people in the course of investigating. Maybe we play a journalist protagonist, one with some integrity, unlike a lot of modern journalists. Though that's not entirely fair, a lot of that isn't their fault. The editors and investors get final say, and they tend to have to do things a certain way if they want to keep getting paid. See, there I go. So as far as the game would go, if I had a big budget AAA studio at hand, it would probably be something comparable in scope to Resident Evil. For a tiny team with maybe a few $1,000s, I'm thinking a solid 3 to 5 hour experience. Maybe more if we're feeling ambitious. Locations would ideally include a town area, a forest and/or farmland, and finally the research base, which is probably underneath a zoo. Low poly or PSX graphics are fine. Those kinds of games are still performing well and are still scary. Advanced graphics are nice and all, but they're hardly the most important thing. Personally, as long as the art direction and level design are good, then I'm immersed and barely even notice the graphics at a certain point. and advanced graphics won't count for much if the art direction and level design aren't up to snuff. It's hard for me to give details about the story right now because I always find it's best to work alongside other designers and see what they want to do. Most of the game would be going from place to place, following clues and looking for survivors from the initial attack. The entire town would basically be quarantined, and you got in just ahead of it. I got some characters in mind like a cop, a pastor, a mother, and some thoughts on the scientist villain. For this video, I'm not going to talk about them because I really want to focus on the core themes and what makes it unique. Some future videos will be more story-oriented. And I'm just kind of throwing this in at the end, but if you really want to destroy players emotionally and drive home the horror of this crime against nature, I think you should find a human-dog hybrid that is just hiding and whining. And if he has dialogue, it should be semi-coherent and gut-wrenchingly depressing about wanting to go home. God, I don't want to think about that. And that's probably a good sign. So this was an interesting experiment for a video. Let me know what you think in the comments and if you want to see more videos like this. So that's it for now, my friends. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like. I'll see you later.